Back in the year 1975, when I was just a little 5-year-old, something really strange and mysterious happened to me. Let me tell you all about it. You see, I had this special stuffed dinosaur, my absolute favorite, like a constant companion on all my adventures. I loved that dino so much that I'd carry it around everywhere I went, making it my trusty sidekick. Now, you might find it a bit cheesy, but dinosaurs were my jam when I was a kid, and this particular toy was the superstar among my dino collection. Now, here comes the odd part of the story. For 3 days in a row, I noticed that every morning when I woke up, my dinosaur would magically find its way back into my closet. Now, I can guarantee you, I didn't put it there, and I'm pretty sure my parents didn't either because I was always glued to that toy. It got me thinking and scratching my head, trying to figure out how it ended up in the closet every single morning. Even though I was just a little kid, I could sense that something peculiar was happening. So, I made up my mind to stay up one night and solve the mystery. It was a tad scary, but my curiosity got the better of me. As the clock struck midnight, my bedroom door squeaked open on its own. Imagine my surprise when I saw my beloved dinosaur seemingly floating towards the closet, as if someone invisible was gently carrying it. Talk about giving me the chills. Terrified, I dove under my blankets for cover. The closet door closed mysteriously, and then came the truly spine-tingling part. I heard someone breathing, right there in front of my face, on the other side of the covers. It felt like someone was intensely staring at me. To make matters even more eerie, a strange woman's voice whispered a chilling goodnight. Absolutely freaked out, I spent the entire night under my blankets, unable to close my eyes. When morning finally arrived, I spilled the beans to my mom, hoping for some comfort and reassurance. However, she dismissed it as just my imagination playing tricks on me. I wasn't entirely convinced, though. For the next few months, I sought refuge in my parents' bed, too scared to venture into my own room. Eventually, summoning up the courage to return, I made a pact with myself. No more playing with that dinosaur. Luckily, the weird happenings didn't repeat, and I could finally breathe a sigh of relief. During my time at the small and charming pharmacy, some really strange and mysterious things happened in the basement. The storage area below had these long shelves, creating a kind of pathway for moving around. To add a fun touch, there was also another room called the dungeon, which had steps, a low ceiling, and a secret trapdoor cleverly hidden behind the shop's counter, a hidden passage leading to the main floor. On a specific day that stuck in my memory, I came across a person in overalls and a checkered shirt in the basement. Despite looking pretty ordinary, when I tried to talk to him, he just walked into the dungeon without saying anything. Curious about this mysterious encounter, I decided to check the room, only to find it mysteriously empty, making me wonder if he had quietly left through the trapdoor. To my surprise, asking the other person who was there didn't give me any useful information, and when I looked at the security footage, it only showed the two of us during that time. Fast forward a whole year, a new team member, a Saturday girl, went through a really unsettling incident involving the same mysterious man. She described a distressing situation with a blonde guy in overalls and a checkered shirt, calmly moving from the basement to the dungeon, ignoring her calls, and then disappearing without a trace. Confused by these strange encounters, I decided to spend more time in the dungeon, hoping to solve the mystery, but the mysterious man kept avoiding me. Despite my earnest efforts, I consistently stumbled upon boxes scattered around and items left in disarray, making the puzzle even more confusing. While I don't want to definitively say these events are connected to the supernatural, the unexplained incidents in the pharmacy basement continue to puzzle me to this very day. My house is pretty old, built in the early 1900s. It's just a regular house with one family living in it, made of wood and sitting on a strong concrete foundation. I've been living here for about 15 years, And among all the weird things my siblings and I have experienced, one particular event involving my brother is my favorite. About 10 years ago, my brother and his friends started a band in our garage, playing rock and alternative music in Spanish. They could only practice on Sunday afternoons, and usually they'd finish by 8 p.m. That's around the time I'd come home from my late-night job and go to bed. But on this day, their practice ended early. It was late fall, and as the days got shorter, they decided to continue the music at a friend's house. Getting out of our house was a bit tricky. They had to go from the basement to the back stairs, through the kitchen, down the hall, and finally out to the front porch. While everyone waited in my brother's truck, he realized he left his food in the basement on a speaker. Going back down, he saw a shadowy figure out of the corner of his eye, making him feel uneasy. Our family always said, if you feel bad around a ghost, either say a quick prayer or curse at it. My brother chose the latter, telling the figure, "Hey, forget you. I don't have time for this." Hurrying back up the stairs, he closed doors and turned off lights, reaching the last light switch on the other side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open, and the street lamp outside lit up the living room. Even though he felt something behind him, he didn't look back. As he flicked the last switch, the whole house went dark. Closing the door behind him and still holding his food container, he jogged down the porch steps. Our house is far from the main street, with a big front yard but no garage in the back. Approaching the truck, he thought about how he scared himself for no reason. Sitting in the driver's seat, buckling his seatbelt, and getting ready to leave, a friend asked, "Hey, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" Confused, my brother said, "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He's already gone. Can't you see if his car is anywhere around?" Then came the next question from his friends. "So then, who was walking behind you as you were leaving the house?"